And our next guests take the phrase growing into your potential very literally. iGrow Chicago is using, among several techniques, farming to teach kids how to reach new heights in every area of their lives in ways that really impacts the entire community. And with us today are Aaron Vogel, the co-executive directors of iGrow Chicago, with Quentin Mabels, your co's, yes, as we said earlier. Where did this come to be? And this isn't new. It's been around for at least 3-4 years. But when did this all happen? A lot of people don't know about you.
Yeah, so the Peace House which is the house that we run our programs out of. It was a formerly abandoned home that was up for demolition. Our founder and president, Robin Carroll, purchased it and had the community fix it up. So we are located on 64th and Honore.
That's in East Englewood. West Englewood, I should say. Yeah,
West Englewood.
But I mean, let's go back even further, Aaron, how the whole thing iGrow Chicago started. I know the Peace House is kind of the second phase of it, but Robin, the executive director, the founder, she used to teach yoga in just vacant lots in the summertime to kids in that area, right?
Yeah, and Robin, she lives in River North, and she wanted to know why this community is having the problems it is. When you look at the violence and shootings almost every day, why is it happening? And it's so easy to diagnose it from downtown.
Right.
She decided to really know the problem, you had to immerse yourself in it. So she started teaching yoga to kids in vacant lots, and when it got cold, moved into the schools, and then realized that she's making impact with kids, but if you really want to get the kids to where they need to be, you have to get their parents there.
And so you met Quentin.
Yes.
Because you got involved after you found out about Robin. You met Quentin, and Quentin, you live in this area, right?
Yes,
so you know of what you speak, right? You're there. And when you met these guys, you said you were on board, didn't you?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, from day one, it was just like, you know, aside from just, you know, like the yoga piece and everything, it was just more so how can we collectively, you know, come together and change the narrative and the perception of individuals who view a place such as Englewood.
And I should say, it's called iGrow Chicago because you are growing vegetables and things like that right across the street from the Peace House, right? And did she buy the house because it was across from the garden, or it just kind of, how did it end up being that way?
Bought the house, there were 2 lots across the street, and just put the garden down.
And what does this do for the kids?
I mean, what it do, I mean, again, how can we come together, you know, as a community, as one? So this house was built, you know, solely by the community, from the kids, you know, to the elders. So it's a sense of ownership, you know. So when you have something that, you know, that you own, you tend to protect it and make sure it's kept well. And even like the garden, you know, the kids go over to the garden, they pick fresh produce out. Our neighbors come, you know, get collard greens and things like that, cook Sunday dinner. So I mean, it's just all love, and that's what Englewood is really about. You know, that compassion. That's what we want to continue to bring.
And all this is free?
Everything.
It's all free.
Everything is free. You could come over anytime at the garden. All the programs is free. Everything.
So the thing about iGrow Chicago, it's not just growing the vegetables. It kind of helps the whole community in so many ways. Tell me how you've seen that.
Oh, first and foremost, the Peace House in iGrow Chicago, it's a place to connect and belong. And when you have that sense of ownership Quentin talked about, you feel like you belong in the world.
Right.
And so with all of the activities that we do, they're all there to promote growth. So our kids, we have an after-school program, a summer camp, music classes, spoken word and drumming, and then the garden. And that's just there to show people that there's so many more opportunities in this world than the opportunities that are currently given to the community. I'm
going to be honest, I do stories every night, report on violence still going on in Englewood, and there are places like iGrow Chicago. There are other organizations who come in and try to help. Why are we still seeing the violence then?
Well, you got to get to the root cause, you know, of that question rather, and it's a whole, like, I mean, you could frame it different.
Yeah. Having lived there, what is the root cause? Or is it just one cause?
Well, no, I mean, first and foremost, resources. And when I say resources, meaning, you know, you give, you know, guys and, you know, these young women opportunities. You know, you give them jobs. You know, good education. You bring these type of resources into a community, and you will see more and more of the community, you know, can grow. It's sort of like, again, like the Peace House. It's just a step. It's just an opportunity. So when we was building this home, we had guys who didn't had zero to little experience
Right.
in building things or putting in installation or put down tile. They didn't know this because they didn't have a chance to expose this skill set. When they get a chance to do so, you know, now they full-time or part-time carpenters and things like that. So again, that exposure and opportunity, that's what is missing.
You talk about opportunity. Where does the federal government, where is the local government, you know, the state government, the city government come in to help out? You heard President Trump during his campaign saying that, what have they got to lose? You better vote for me. I'll bring jobs to the area. You hear Mayor Emanuel saying, we're bringing jobs, da, da, da. But is it happening, or is it happening fast enough, or is it happening at all?
Our government is responsible for the systematic oppression of Black and brown communities in general. So that, I mean, when you look at our education system, the criminal justice system, the banks that have completely torn apart communities, we don't see the support that I think they should be having.
Would that be an answer if you got more support?
Definitely. I mean, the more and more support and the more you pour in to a community such as Inglewood, and you know, and to people, like the violence will decrease. You know, we just looking for opportunity. You know, they don't want to be standing on corners and, you know, hanging out. We just looking for a way out. We just looking for an opportunity. And given that opportunity, you're going to see individuals, you know, man, growing to their best potential.
Have you seen a difference with I Grow Chicago?
Yeah, no doubt. I definitely see, I have seen the difference, even, you know, with myself, even with the kids, and like I say, my friends, close friends to this day, you know, I seen the difference. I seen what an opportunity can bring. Just giving that a person a push, just say, hey, here's a, you know, a application, you know, go fill it out, you know, go, you know, go apply for a job. So, I mean, these small things, but they so huge, you know, in the community.
Do you see hope there? Do you see hope of people getting out of that community, or if not getting out, but making it a better community so that they could stay there and not, you know, experience the violence that they do?
Definitely, you know, I wouldn't say getting out, but definitely, you know, buying it up, buying it back, you know, buying your community back, you know, and bringing that prosperity to a community that is in desperate need. You know, we're not going nowhere. We just want to continue to keep, you know, striving for greatness. That's what it's about.
You guys are doing great work. Keep it up. Thank you. You can find I Grow Chicago at 6402 South Honore. That's in Chicago's Englewood neighborhood, West Englewood neighborhood. Or you can go online at igrowchicago.org.